What's up, guys? Welcome to this latest episode of the Mufasa Sports Clubs. Thanks again for your continued support to the channel. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, share within your community. As always, you already know the drill. We're going to be talking about the NBA Finals ending tonight with the Oklahoma City Thunder being crowned as the 2025 NBA champions, and also going to be giving our opinion on the Kevin Durant trade to the Houston Rockets later on in the episode. So the Oklahoma City Thunder actually at the end of a Game 7 forced by the Indiana Pacers after winning Game 6, obliterating the Thunder back home in Cambridge, forced the Game 7, get back to Oklahoma City and lose Game 7 against the Thunder 103-91. I'm not really about to break down the game for this episode. I think we pretty much knew the Thunder were the favorite to win the championship, which the Pacers did give them a run for the money, as a matter of fact. And I really want to take the time in this episode to congratulate, first of all, the Indiana Pacers for their amazing run. This is a team that has a tremendous heart, and there's nothing that they should be ashamed of. There's nothing that this team should be regretting for this entire playoff run. Congratulations to them. It was unfortunate to see Tyrese Haliburton go down today after barely 7 minutes, where he already knocked down three-point shots. I think he was confirmed that he ruptured his Achilles as well, just like Jason Tatum and Damian Lillard earlier in the season. And we all knew the risk that he was playing with, even since Game 6, because he was already having a calf strain, and the consequence of playing with that kind of injury is you getting an Achilles tear if you unlucky. So he was lucky enough in Game 6. Unfortunately, ran out of luck for Game 7. But major props to this guy for actually taking the risk and pretty much putting the season on the line, because I'm not sure he's going to be back next season, or even if he is, it's probably going to be, he's going to be out for at least 6 months, 6 to a year, depending on how quick his recovery time is. But huge shout out, huge kudos, tremendous respect earned and deserved to Tyrese. We wish him a speedy recovery. It was really emotional, beautiful to see him on crutches at the end of the game in the tunnel, waiting for his teammates and greeting them, embracing them, and basically thanking them for the season. That shows the kind of leadership that Tyrese Haliburton has and is displaying with this Pacers team. And I just want to one more time congratulate this team, from Rick Carlisle to the ownership group. And I know it's gonna be, there's gonna be some tough decisions now to make, especially with Tyrese being out for an extended period of time next year. But I have no doubt that this front office is still gonna make the right decisions, because they've already shown to me that they don't just run and rush to make some decisions. It's a very calm, well thought process that this general manager and this front office has in Indiana. And I just want to congratulate them again for an amazing run in these playoffs. Major shout out to the entire squad, and special mention again to TJ McConnell. I cannot stress enough how great this player was during this series. And man, I would have loved for him to win a championship, but the Oklahoma City Thunder were just, the superior team. And with, like I said, Tyrese going down, it became a little bit easier, even though they still tried to give them some challenges. But once again, major congratulations to the Pacers. Nothing to be ashamed of, and I wish them nothing but continued success. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for this team and how they gonna try to, get better. Like I said, especially with the season going down the line now, we're gonna have some off-season guides for most of these teams and let you guys know what we think needs to be done throughout the summer. So now back to the champions, the 2025 champions, for the first time in franchise history. Major shout out to them as well for an amazing season, dominating throughout the Western Conference, and as a matter of fact throughout the whole NBA, with a 60 plus record win. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been amazing throughout the season. He finishes the season with the scoring title, the regular season MVP, and the finals MVP. I think it's been an amazing season for SG as well, and I want to take the time to congratulate him for all these achievements. Congratulations to Chet Holmgren, who was very crucial during this Game 7 with 5 blocks. He was really important on defense, and also was able to contribute on the offensive end with, I think, about 18 points. Same with J-Dub, Jalen Williams. I think he has been amazing throughout the playoffs, especially during this series. And even though he maybe had like 1 or 2 bad games, he was pretty much consistent throughout the series overall. So congratulations again to this Thunder team as well. They've been amazing throughout the season. It's a well constructed roster. Major shout out to Sam Presti and the ownership group out there as well. This NBA Finals has shown us, like I said in a previous episode, that small markets could also win. This is the living proof that big markets only can win is really just a thought for the past. If you put the work in terms of scouting, development of your young players, you get the results that these two teams were able to put on full display for this finals. So that was a great show, a great product that was shown throughout this NBA Finals. And yes, small markets can win as long as it's well run and well organized. So major shout out to Oklahoma City again. Guys like Alex Caruso, who was an undrafted player, who now is a 2-time champion. That's just what what we watch sports for. That's what you watch basketball for. Beautiful stories like this. Him and Isaiah Hartenstein being able to come during the last offseason and add into the core that the Thunder already had. That was just a home run for Sam Presti in terms of acquisition and roster construction. And you gotta give credit to Sam Presti. You gotta give credit to him as well for sticking with Mark Daigneault, hiring him with him being pretty much a brand new head coach, zero experience as a head coach prior to his first gig as a Thunder, and now sticking with him through the process, not firing him because of bad results after a year, giving him time to develop his ideas and make his players believe in that, and working with him along the draft as well. And now 5 years later, that's what you get. You get a team that is an NBA champion and maybe on the verge of becoming a dynasty. I don't want to jump too early in conclusions right there, but they do have a nice roster. They have some important decisions to make this offseason also with Chet, Jalen Williams, and SGA all eligible for contracts and due for big money. So it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate these high waters, but I have no doubt that Sam Presti is also going to work his magic out there and make sure that this team is set for the long run to compete at the highest level possible, meaning winning a championship. So once again, I want to congratulate the Oklahoma City Thunder as well. Even with a guy like Blue Dort, he's also an undrafted player who was picked up after the draft by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now he's an NBA champion. We live for these beautiful stories. That's why we watch sports, and it's gonna be exciting to see what this team can have, or what kind of dynasty or run they could have in the future in the much competitive Western Conference, where everybody is gearing up to now beat the defending champion, which will be the Oklahoma City Thunder. It would have been great to see what this Game 7 could have been with Tyrese Haliburton healthy, but I don't want to take anything away from the Thunder. Major props to them again. They still have a whole lot of draft picks, so the future is set. Like I said, Nikola Topic is going to be, I think, a great addition next year for them. He missed the entire season this year. After being drafted, he's still going to be a great addition next year, in my opinion, to this Thunder team. And, Hartenstein, Caruso, they're still signed on the long run. So we're gonna definitely go over the offseason guide as well in the next videos. But once again, I just want to congratulate them for winning the first NBA championship in the franchise history. A lot of people thought that was gonna come through the Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant era, but the era that was able to do that is the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams era. So major props to them. Big shout out to Sam Presti and the ownership also letting him continue to build. That might be the only advantage of smaller market. The patience, you could be more patient in a smaller market, but that should also teach something for this bigger market to trust the process and believe in the people that you hire, because Sam Presti has been out there for over 17 years, hasn't been sacked by the ownership group, and finally gets rewarded for all the hard work that he put in putting the team together, going through these ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and now here you are as an executive of the year and an NBA champion. So congrats again to the Thunder, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for them. I'm just gonna quickly go over the NBA, the Kevin Durant trade that also happened earlier today, with Kevin Durant being traded to the Houston Rockets from the Phoenix Suns. The Suns traded KD and get in return Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the draft, and 5 second-round picks. I don't think. Let me put it this way, rather. I like the trade for the Rockets, because I think that's really what they were missing in terms of a number one guy, a pure scorer, with Jalen Green not being so efficient in the playoffs. But just watching the series against the Warriors unfold, they needed that go-to guy in the last moments of the games to be able to take that next step. So I think they get that with Kevin Durant, even at 36, 37 years old. And I'm sure he's going to be pretty successful out there, bearing any injuries, especially under the leadership of, Ime Udoka out there in Houston. So I like this trade in terms of fit and value for the Houston Rockets, because although they lose Jalen Green, which I think still has the talent to be a superstar in this league if he's able to become more consistent. He's still very young, 24 years old, I believe. So it's gonna be interesting. Even though they lose a guy like Jalen Green, they didn't give up a whole lot of first-round picks, which is a great thing, especially in this new CBA. They also were able to retain Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., Cam Whitmore before, and still making this trade work. So, and one of the reasons why there was not a whole lot of first round picks involved in this. Is first of all, by just trading Jalen Green, you're probably giving up a first round pick as well, and the age of Kevin Durant and the history of injuries there sometimes. So I think it's a fair trade in terms of value. I don't think the Phoenix Suns are done. I don't see them keeping Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, and Jalen Green on the same roster. That's 4 shooting guards. That's just a lot, and too much money committed amongst all these players. So I know it's a hassle with Bradley Beal and the no trade clause that he has, but it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't think they're done. I'm sure they're gonna have some. I hope for them that they're not done, and I'm sure they're gonna have some other moves. So we're gonna wait to see what these other moves are before we can necessarily give our opinion on the Phoenix side. But I like the returns that they have. They, adding some future picks, getting some future picks back after losing a whole bunch of them in that same Kevin Durant trade when Matt Ishbia first bought the team. So that's good. They get Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green that they can flip if they want again or keep. Dillon Brooks is a player who could be, pretty useful for them out there in terms of defense. And even though I'm not a fan of his, but the little bit of toughness or mind games that he sometimes plays to get under, major players of other teams. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Suns do after this trade and who they draft if they do keep that 10th pick, for instance. They definitely need a center, and like I said, we're gonna have an offseason guide of what I think they need to do in terms of roster changes and all of that. Also with the Suns, on the Houston Rockets side, they shouldn't just limit themselves there. I think by losing Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks, you are really you need to make sure that you strengthen your bench, because you actually now missing points that Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks were consistently bringing to this Rockets team. And this is 2 starters that you're missing there. So you probably bring in Tyrese Eason or Jabari Smith Jr. back in the starting lineup. But now, if you don't do anything else in this offseason, you're relying a lot on guys like Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore to step up in order for you to be super competitive, because we all saw with these NBA Finals, you need to have a deep bench to be able to be highly competitive. And I don't think they're highly competitive right now in terms of depth, unless these 2 guys, for instance, step up, or you make some additional moves to bring some scoring off the bench. I think a guy like Cam Thomas, for instance, from the Brooklyn Nets, could be a good addition for the Houston Rockets off the bench if the money is right. But you probably need to make some additional moves to give yourself a better chance, especially if you trying to win a championship, which clearly is what they're trying to do by acquiring a guy like Kevin Durant. So I also think some additional moves are going to be made from the Houston Rockets. And if they don't do any additional moves, then I'm assuming they're relying on the younger guys to step up and contribute. And I'm not sure if they're ready for that, but we'll find out. So that was pretty much all I had for you guys tonight, and I truly appreciate the support again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, you share the videos, and you like them as well, and share within your community. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.